Welcome back. Of course, you're here with me, Susie Ojwang, and we're joined in studio by Sheila Kwamboka. And we were talking about just a little bit about Sheila, and she was letting us know that she's still doing her music. Well, not necessarily still doing it, but she's doing it for fun. And now I want to ask you about when you look at reality TV shows, Sheila, regardless of the format that they're based around, people are subjected to a lot of scrutiny and a lot of criticism, and a lot of the times people end up judging you without even necessarily knowing you. Yeah. Do you find people judging you without, and they don't even know you? Do you find that happening to you?
I think that happens to pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
But under the scrutiny of reality TV, it gets even crazy. I mean, especially like a show like Big Brother, for example. You've seen me there 91 days. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, even when I'm sleeping, while I'm eating, everything I'm pretty much doing. So for 91 days kind of makes you feel like you know me. And so the time you're going to meet me on the streets, you expect me to be that character that you met, that you saw on TV. But what you forget, those are like, that's a special kind of situation. That's not how I generally behave. You lock anyone up and see whether they'll behave the same way that they behave naturally in my natural environment. So I think because of that, the misperception, even for people who actresses and actors, even musicians, we talk a lot, and guys are like, yo, people expect me to be the person they saw in the music video, the person they saw acting on TV. So with that said, yes, a lot of scrutiny and a lot of prejudgment. Yeah, people feel like they know you, but they don't. And chances are most of them will never actually get to meet you and know you. Yeah.
So as you see, there's a lot of scrutiny and criticism, when you're in there, and then you come out. So is it harder to build a life because people know you or people think they know you? How is it once you come out? Does life change?
It depends on what you want, out of it. I've seen a lot of people who've been, on TV, like especially Big Brother. A lot of them went into different things. For example, Millicent went into politics. She's now an MCA in county government of Nairobi. We have, Alex, who completely disappeared. Nobody knows where he is, but he's doing his thing. And so many other people who, did Big Brother, it was for the heck of it, and then left and decided they never want. Ted Mukusi, who's currently just been given a government appointment in a parastatal.
Oh, great.
So there's a lot of, it depends on how you want to handle it. When you leave there, of course, a lot of people will want to be like, oh my God, I know you, you'll have so many friends who, everyone just wants to be associated with you basically. Because with fame comes so many other people. But once the fame starts, if you really want to live just an ordinary life, it's bloody well possible. But if you want to take that fame and turn it into something positive, get into TV, get into modeling, get into whatever. You have a platform that most people would die for. So depending on how you use it at the end of the day.
That's very true. It's that one platform and that one opportunity. So you either take it and run with it or you just disappear.
Yes.
It's up to you. So tell us a little bit about your other stint, radio. You said you're on radio now.
Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've been on radio for 3 years now. Homeboys Radio. I do the drive show from 4 to 7. What can I tell you about radio? Radio is exciting. Every single day you got to talk about whatever's on your mind, and once the show is over, tomorrow is a new show. So there's it's really exciting. I get to learn a lot of things. I get to interact with a lot of people. I get to be part of conversations on a national level. So for me, it's an amazing platform. Sort of. I've always wanted to be on radio, so it did come as a surprise to me finally when I got the opportunity. And might I just add, a lot of people want to get into radio or get into TV or whatever, and they go for 2-3 auditions and they're like, oh my God, I'm never going to be on TV, or oh my God, I'm never going to be on radio.
Yeah, it's not.
I literally auditioned in every single radio station except the vernacular ones to try and get a job on radio, and it was always a no. So I did it for over 5 years before I got. In fact, if not even 5, it was longer before I got my first yes.
Persistent.
And my first yes was not even in Nairobi. It was not even in Kenya. It was in Accra. It just so happened that I didn't want to stay in Accra. Then when I came to Nairobi, it took another 3 years before I got my first job on radio.
Oh, great.
So if someone is out there, watching and they're like, oh my God, I want to be on radio.
It's possible.
Persistence
Is key,
Yeah.
actually. And you love to talk. You mentioned, so
sir.
it's a perfect job.
The funny thing, people think radio is about how much you can talk.
Uh-huh.
It's actually not that. It's how much sense can you make in the least amount of words.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very
Because
accurate.
you have to use the least amount of words to pass across a message
And communicate.
without yes. And so
Yeah.
if you want to know bad radio is when you use 65,000 words to just say, and we're turning left. Yeah. Having to explain yourself, that's bad radio. So
Yeah.
it's challenging because you always have to have a witty answer, a witty response. When you're trying to pass an information, don't be like, oh, so the president now, No, nobody likes that kind of radio. Well, there's that kind of radio, but for the audience that I speak to, you have to be quick on your answers, on your responses, on your thinking, on your wit. So yeah, very challenging.
And you're quite witty. You're very witty, by my side. Yeah. So you had mentioned that you mentor people.
Yeah.
You're a mentor, and just tell us a little bit about that and any other projects you're working on.
When it comes to my mentoring programs,
Mm-hmm.
it's so weird that I actually just found myself in it. Around 2008, I started working with kids with living with disabilities, especially autistic and kids with Asperger's disease. Because that's something that's close to my heart. I have a brother. The brother who follows me is actually autistic. He's a person living with autism. So I started working with people living with autism. And then later, after Big Brother, I discovered that, not discovered, but we did a project one week where it was World Malaria Week, and we're supposed to do a project to create awareness on malaria around the world. And I found out that malaria is the #1 killer. Still is in the 21st century. And I was like, that is so ridiculous, especially where I come from, my shags, as in, you can't just come in and go out without malaria. It's one of those things that you're going to catch, one way or the other. And so when I left Big Brother, the first thing I went and did was open an NGO, and I was like, we are working with people with malaria. We're going to raise money, we're going to buy mosquito nets, and we're going to take them to people who need them. We're going to create awareness in terms of how to use it, because those are some of the challenges that malaria is having in the 21st century. And it became so interesting as I started to work with people with malaria. People would just send me emails and Facebook messages, and they'd be like, how can I volunteer?
Great.
So it started from there, and slowly it's just become every single thing that I do. There's people who just want to to intern or to work under me to learn how to do it, even with the entertainment aspect of it.
That's great. That's really great news. So, fun fact, now that you've mentioned malaria,
Yes.
Sheila is not only a guest here, but she's also my friend, a very good friend of mine. And I call her the malaria queen.
Are you going to tell them?
I call her the malaria queen because there's a point in her life when that's all she'd do, creating awareness, taking mosquito nets and whatnot. And she was also Miss Tourism, so that's a fun fact. She was also Miss Tourism at some point in her life, yes.
That is so true, yes.
So that's how the modeling aspect comes in. Would you, how did you end up being Miss Tourism though?
Well, there was a panel of judges, they voted.
Well, other than that.
And they decided I'm the most beautiful person who can represent tourism in Kenya. In fact, when they saw me, they were just like, you look like a giraffe.
Oh yeah?
No, that's not actually what happened. How did I get into modeling? That's a funny story. In fact, I did it for my mom. I was playing basketball. I had an injury at that time, and so I couldn't play. And so while that was happening, I ended up picking a flyer for Miss Tourism. Accidentally, because they were giving them out in the streets. And when I got home, my mom saw it, and she was so happy that I finally decided to use my height for modeling. And so I just had to go along with it. And before I know it, she's really invested in it. She's like teaching me how to catwalk. I wore heels for the very first time. It was so ridiculous. The day of the competition.
For the first time.
For the first time.
On the day of the competition.
It was so hilarious, yeah.
Could you walk though?
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
You managed.
You can throw me anywhere, and I'll figure my way out. So that's what ended up happening, and it came as a surprise that I won, because I felt like the competition was quite stiff.
Oh yeah.
And everybody there seemed to be like, they were trying this for the 6th time, for the 5th time. So I'm like, okay, chances are I'm not gonna win, but it turned out to be great.
Oh, great. That's good. So going back to my previous question when I asked about your project, Industry Night, that's the talk of town now, yeah?
Oh, thank you.
It's the talk of town, and it's quite a dope concept, if you ask me. So maybe you can tell those of us who don't know about Industry Night a little bit about it.
How do I say this in one sentence? Industry Night is a mega platform for Kenyan artists to showcase their talent to their fans in an intimate setting. So basically, it's that one platform where, actually, we pride ourselves at Industry Night that we're the only event that plays strictly to Kenyan music throughout.
Oh, great. Are you the brains behind Industry Night?
Yeah. I'm not going to credit myself too much. I'm going to say when I was in Lagos, Industry Night in Nigeria used to be my favorite event, because it was the one place where you could go and meet all the top Nigerian artists for free.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you could walk. I mean, you go to Industry Night, which used to be held at this place in Lekki. I forget the name of the hotel. And you would come through, and you could. Wizkid at that time was blowing up, but that was the first time I saw Wizkid and Davido in concert was at Industry Night, and it was for absolutely free, and it was an intimate setting, and it was just like wow. And you know, ordinarily you'd have to pay about 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira
to see
these guys live in concert. So I was like, wow, this is a fantastic platform. And so I came back home and I was like, okay, where is that one place where you go and you know, okay, on this day, if you go to this place, you'll find Kenyan artists performing. There's hardly any. Everybody, every club, every place is only playing international music, is playing Nigerian music, is playing reggae. You know, there's a reggae night, there's a what night, there's never a Kenyan night. The only Kenyan nights are the, you know, language themes like the Luya night, the Masai night, the Kamba night. What happens to mainstream Kenyan music, the music that you hear on radio? So there was no actual theme night for Kenya. And so I felt instead of, you know, putting it as like a theme night, why not make this like a culture? Like it's not really supporting, but this is the place where you come to celebrate being Kenyan. From the party, the way we have the party, to the only music that's played there is Kenyan music. The performances we have from comedians to poets to the MCs to the DJs to the performers are all Kenyan. And yeah, and it's open to the rest of the world. So it's a way for us to showcase for all the internationals who are usually in Nairobi.
Oh, great.
Our culture.
That's fantastic. That sounds great. When is Industry Night and where?
It happens every first Thursday of the month at Galileo Lounge. In fact, the next one is on the 5th of November.
Oh, great.
Yeah. You guys should come through. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah, guys, check it out. So, talking about the challenges of the industry that you're in, what do you face? What challenges do you face? That you wish weren't there?
On radio?
Just in general, the industry night, as you've just said, that, well, let's talk about Industry Night actually. Like Industry Night, you said there's no place that I can go and just sit down and listen to Kenyan music, and you didn't just want to make it a theme night. So far, how long have you been doing Industry Night actually?
It's almost a year and a half now.
Oh, great. What challenges have you been facing?
I think the major challenge that we had, especially when we were starting out, was convincing everybody that we're actually doing something good, and that this, because the one question everybody would ask was, Kenyan music, all night.
How? What?
Hey, there's not even a loose Nigerian 2-hour mix-up.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's all Kenyan. And when we started out from the first event we've had, it's just been going like this. It's just been going like this. So that tells you something, that we're actually doing something right.
Oh, great. So people are actually appreciating more of the Kenyan music.
Absolutely.
More and more each day. All right. We're going to take another short commercial break and we'll be back shortly.